I've got the players from the last series on my mind. Just can't get enough of them, apparently. So Leenock versus the Trap, and Cure versus GuMiho, essentially, in a way. I mean, not really. But you can look at it like that, especially when you compare the players. You're going to want to look at the Terran sort of supply and army, and then you can look at the Zerg and Protoss as well, and have a little bit of an idea to kind of... That's how I like to judge how 2v2s are going. If there's any players of the same race, compare those guys, and then kind of think about where they are compared to their, so compared to the other two players compared. Can give you a pretty quick rundown, pretty solid rundown of kind of what's going on and stuff. Top left-hand side, our purple Protoss player here. This is Trap! With his teammate, Cure. They're occupying the top left-hand side of the map. As the bottom right, we have the red Terran GuMiho, the blue Zerg, Leenock, and Dusty Gorge is the map, a map that I'm really not familiar with at all. Looks like we've got in-base expansions here, although the main bases are separated, which does allow for a little bit more kind of focused pressure or designated attacks on one player to be a little bit more successful, obviously, because then it's going to be a bit of a difficulty to clean up and so on and so forth. Your opponent can't reinforce. I guess they kind of are connected through the back door. So I guess they're kind of pretty well connected, especially if you want to defend your naturals as well. So I guess it's not that bad compared to how I'm making that. I guess I kind of forgot the natural was kind of connected here. So, okay. Well, an early expansion here from Trap is he's like 2v2. Well, it sounds like I need 2 bases for that. 2 gases as well. What more can I make 2 of? Well, he's about to make a second pylon, so I guess it's pylons as well as we get this underway. Pylon here is in a good position to be able to tech up, kind of hidden away, and obviously maybe build a shield battery in the mineral line if required as well. Everyone just expanding here early, apart from GuMiho, who is just on a bit of a faster factory. I like the fact GuMiho actually initially walled off his natural from his opponent rather than walling off over here. He's like, yeah, I don't trust you not to let things in, dude. So if you let things in, then yeah, you're not. I'm gonna be safe. Sorry. As you do see a couple of Marines on the way out. Starport getting dropped down as these guys are pinging around crazy because GuMiho saw that probe coming into the main base of Leenock and wants to make sure that it doesn't go unattended. We're really just trying to scout. Fully sacrificed there by Trap. No intention of getting that out alive. What did he really pick up on? Well, not really much. Saw the natural, but that was about it. So, not that much info there. Leenock comes up at the top with the Lings. Interesting. Wonder if he's expecting an Adept over here or something. Not all too sure. Anyways, Starport finishes from GuMiho, who again is the only player in this game currently yet to expand. So, GuMiho still needing to expand at some point here, as we'll see that Magfield Accelerator upgrade starting up on the factory. So Magfield starting up right now. Going to see a ping onto that depot. Look at me, there's a supply depot, guys. Oh my god, there's a supply depot. Tank popping out, and a few Marines just gathering up together. Out in the center, Reaper from Cure is just going to dodge around those Zerglings. And is going to continue across down to the bottom right here. Getting ready to hop up into the main base of Leenock, but mostly just looking for information, and boom, sees the Roach Roaring. So that kind of one base of GuMiho obviously has to be accompanied by something, and the Roach aggression out of Leenock sort of sells us on what this is going to be. Roachling, Cyclone, and Marine Viking apparently is the choice. And let's see how Trap and Cure will set up their defenses to deal with this. Just going to be seeing the Lings continue to come on out here. Obviously, Lings reinforced quite quickly with that Ling speed. You see a tank already over here, actually by GuMiho. That first medevac of units is very quick to get over. So supply depot goes down. Tank will now in siege. Looks like they go into reposition. And a couple of oracles of Trap are dangerous because there's not that much anti-air with this army. Obviously, once the Cyclone gets here, Viking, other Marines. It's a very different story as they're going to start pushing up the top. I tell you what, it's going to get weird because now Q can kind of come down and intercept the units, which are mostly coming through the center because this pathway is blocked by rocks. It's actually probably not a good idea. It's weird because I guess the Terran player is much more naturally defensive of siege tanks and so on. But by pushing around the top, they're going to get themselves intercepted multiple times. And that could be a bit of a problem. The shield battery's doing the job of keeping the wall up, keeping some stalkers alive. A tank on the low ground shelling away. Ravagers going to cross the bar between those shield batteries and the pylon. Oh, jeez, all that gets hit there. All the shield batteries get hit too. As you see the Cyclone lifted up once more, but the Oracle's going to dive in again. Not always enough real anti-air here. Especially with the Marines having to lift up every now and then to try and stay safe. Never mind here, Cure went off a little while ago. As we do see, Leenock has made his way into this base of Trap Tank, pressing forwards as well. Cure rallying his units from his main through that back door into the main of Trap now. And Trap still has a couple of gateways in the back, still has some Stalkers to work with here. Oracle's flying in, getting the Cyclone, should try and go for the Siege Tank, I feel. Doesn't get the chance and will just be kept onto the Ravagers now. Trap losing a lot of his units, but in the end, I mean, they are thinning out this army of GuMiho. That one tank, though, has been so annoying throughout this. Pros of Baals pick off a tank here as well. Those Ravagers, very dangerous to deal with. Here's a couple of Stalkers pulling back around the mineral line. Just going to see the Ling's going to be able to pick off the Zealots. The Zealots going down. Cyclone able to lock on and kills off the Oracle. And the Ravagers again having a little bit of a fight here. Marines going down. Still that tank and Marine to the top. Having a pretty good time too. Cyclone lock on goodbye to that Siege Tank as well. And these Ravagers will continue to clean up as that Viking hops back up into the skies. Medevac goes down, and again, this is not pretty at all for Trap. Cure still has an okay-ish army supply to work with here. As Trap is just desperately trying to get another Oracle out. But even that, I mean, Marines the Cyclone. Defensively, this is not good. More Lings streaming across. Another tank coming forward. Still just that one tank here that's sieged up, causing issues. Trap loses another Oracle, but still unable to kind of hang in there. The Viking of Cure going down now as well. The tank firing on the other tank. Ravager Baals as well, and Cure loses that too. Resources lost so far is really inefficient for Trap. And then Cure as well. These guys, GuMiho and Leenock, absolutely killing it right now. Obviously going to start breaking their way down into the natural. Well, there are Zealots. That's why these gateways as well. That's why those Zealots have been walked in from after Trap has lost so many gates, I feel, already this game. He's lost 2 of them. I guess just the 2 at the front. The ones in the main are still standing, but maybe not for long. As you see, Lings and Ravagers now flooding into the Terran base as well. Bunker has nothing inside it. Will go down very swiftly. So continue to come over too as the Cyclone locking on, pulling back away from those few Zealots. So total chasing down this Ravager. Cyclone's locking on here and getting quite a bit done. A few more Marines still streaming in from GuMiho. Trap's entire main base is just gutted right here as SCVs will try and chase in. Cure somehow still has 64 supply, but he's fighting 64 supply with 21 of his opponent against 71 and 58. It's not pretty, the numbers at all. As you see, that tank is locked onto and he just can't get rid of the lock-on, blocked by his own SCVs. Ravagers are behind the mineral line of Trap as he loses probes to Baals. And I mean, GuMiho just keeps pressuring in with Cyclones, Banshees, and well, his own CC is finished up back at home too. Now Lings, Roaches, and Ravagers streaming into the Terran's main base, and this is starting to become more and more over. As these Marines just don't have anything to back them up. Lings and Roaches, there's just so much. Look at this army of Leenock. Masses and masses of units here. And this any second now has got to be the end of Trap and Cure in game number 1, as they've been putting up a hell of a fight, a hell of a hold. But there's the GGs. And GuMiho and Leenock end up picking up the first game of the 2. Down a map in the bottom right-hand side, our purple Protoss Trap and the blue Terran Cure are looking to fight back, as we have to the top left the red Terran GuMiho and the teal Zerg Leenock. Fulio Dulio, thank you so much for the 10 bits in the chat. First bits of the year, baby! You're now number 1 on our bit board and everything. Thank you so much. Metaliax, well, there you go. I'm sorry, Fulio Dulio. Your reign lasted about 10 seconds. Thank you so much, Metaliax, for the 100 bits in the chat. Thank you so much. Now you're number 1 on the bit board. Our second set of bits this year. Beautiful. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate the bits. As we have some fun here tonight with the TV2 tournament. This was put on by WardiTV, one of the Russian commentators. Again, it was played a few days ago. It was actually played on one of the days when I was having a day off. And so we took the replays. We figured I'd cast it another day. And I've had it planned to kind of cast a day for quite a little while. So I'm excited to bring it to you guys. What do you see? This game getting going. Hatch Gas. And soon to be a pull from Leenock. And as we do see on the other side of the map, well, obviously just the wall off here from Trap and Cure, as they look to probably expand pretty quickly as well. Obviously you still have this point over here, which is an access point, but you're pretty safe. I mean, it takes even longer for units to come around here, right, or all the way across here, then down. So you can kind of work on a wall off here a little bit later on and probably be okay for the most part, especially if you have a little bit of scouting and a rough idea of what's going on. which Trap and Kyo do. And very soon we'll see that both players are going to be expanding, as GuMiho even went for a CC first into triple racks, so GuMiho is macroing it up like crazy. From Trap just going to be moving down and out into the center of the map here. And moving on. Being chased around a little bit. That SCV having a bit of fun so far. And finally drops down here from Cure. That's going to be on its way up. It's just getting that going. We do see this depth being chrono boosted out of this gateway. So depth about to pop out of this gateway. There's going to be another adept as well. So a little bit of pressure from Trap here. Trap and Cure playing from down a game. Actually had 2 free game series so far today, which is obviously great. Always a lot of fun to see. As we have that adept just continue to shade up to the top left-hand side. All the way up. And we'll start to do a little bit of damage. Nice little Reaper Grenade to bounce some units forwards. Although in the end, the Marines and the adept will want to try and get out of there. Adept taking still continued damage here. Time for it to stop attacking and just continue to run. Unless maybe another adept comes in, makes this a bit more engageable. But I'd rather probably still wait for the shields to come back on that adept. And as it sees more Marines, I mean, they know it's free racks, right? So they'll know there's a lot of Marine production here. Nice run-in and a Reaper Grenade from Q. Pulls it back pretty quickly as the Jin Air boys playing a good little game so far. Green comes in, drops down a Creep Tumor, as we're going to be seeing the GuMiho is actually pinging over on that right side. He's almost like, we should attack here. You know, that's probably not walled off. Well, Trap's got this one under control, guys. 2 gateways coming down. Leenock will not find an entrance. I mean, these Zerglings will try, and I think that's exactly what GuMiho is pinging for Leenock to try and do. Just a few Lings to try and see if they can get in, or at least get some scouting. But again, going to be absolutely just denied here. Just absolutely no way you can get through that. Prism on the way up from Trap with 2 gateways down and 2 more added. Sorry, 1 gateway down and 2 more added. And we'll have just a little bit of pressure able to be applied with that Prism. A little bit of harassment early game. Meanwhile, we have Cure just setting up into a stim. Stim and +1 starting up from GuMiho. As we see Leenock with his lair about to finish up. Oh, wow, look at that. Very fast Robo Bait from Trap here as well. Probably just straight into Colossus, or are we thinking maybe something a little bit crazier like Disruptors, perhaps? I think Colossus cover the Zerg and Terran armies pretty well, though, so I think Colossus can work well. For now, just an Immortal on the way out. Where's that Prism gotten to? There it is, warping in some Adepts on this left-hand side. Going to send them forwards on their own. Prism will follow. A few Marines of GuMiho, Stimless, Combat Shieldless, and Medevacless. They don't have much here as Kira is going to pull back, and I think he maybe just saw these units coming up the ramp, and so he backed away. As these Adepts coming in and going to be able to start getting a couple of kills. Obviously, no glaives or anything, so they're not able to kind of fire super fast, but still good enough to get a few workers here as those workers pull back down to the low ground. And it's actually really nice mining time denied as well as Trap. Just bullying Leenock a little bit so far. Adepts will drop back down and go for another drone, which they get pretty easily. Another lift up, and again, nice little bonus damage by Trap. As Kure did drop down over here, pick off those Marines. Again, he had that little bit of a faster stim. And he had the fact, also had the fact that he had more Marines as well with medevac support. So pretty much everything those Marines didn't have, Kure cleans those up. And again, it was a bit weird for GuMiho to just have those so far out on the map without having brought, initially I kind of felt okay, but then he never brought them back. Now a drop in the main base as GuMiho pings for some reinforcements. A couple of reactors on the way up here, but I mean, again, these Marines are well set with medevac support. And that stim from GuMiho still wasn't quite done, but Kure lifts up and gets out of there pretty quickly. And as we're going to be seeing the Roach play from Leenock, and also Hydralisk, his Groove Spine upgrade already on the way in from here. So heading in towards that Groove Spine, as we see a couple of these Crypt Units being picked off. And it's actually, because GuMiho wants this low ground base, right, of course. So he comes straight in and just goes to kind of denies those creeps so you can actually expand. And that does actually make sense. Oh, my internet's dying. Okay, guys, we're back. We're good. Hello? So my internet's still problematic. Aye, aye, aye. You guys back? Okay, let me just take off my hoodie fast because I'm burning up a little bit. We'll continue that. Alright, well, if that happens again, guys, we'll just do the same. We'll just pause it and then continue. It's been a lot more stable than it was the last couple of days. I mean, this was 2 hours without any issue. So, I mean, we'll just deal with it. Like, if it's just that every now and then you guys know, just after about 15-30 seconds, press pause and play, refresh the stream. We'll get right back and it'll resume. As long as it's a bit more stable. Like the other day we were trying to stream and it was just off and like down and it goes again. Fuck me. La-di-da-di-da, da-di-da-di-da. Wait for the internet to come back. I mean, it's been stable for like 2 hours. It can't possibly continue to just die, right? Like, surely it's impossible for it to just continue dying. I'm almost certain it is. Are we back? Hello? 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 I think we're back again. So I'm just gonna again say we're just gonna try this, guys. Like, we don't really have a good solution. My internet's just fucked. I'm just gonna hope it doesn't happen for another hour or so and that we can just get through some more games because I have to stream, otherwise I just have to stream, so yeah. So apologies for that. On the plus side, I get internet at home tomorrow, so I'll be able to, if this continues in the studio, I'll at least be able to just go and cast from home without issue. And well, shout out to the people that own the office building and tell them that they suck because this shouldn't happen. So we're just going to try and go a little bit, guys. If it starts happening, just spam in the chat. I'm sure you guys will. I mean, there's just nothing I can do about it. The stream just goes down for 30 seconds or so, and then it comes back. And I don't know if it's going to drop again 5 seconds later or if it's going to be stable for the next 2 hours. Like, again, it's been stable all day. I've been testing it throughout, and it's gone. Oversends units to deal with this, but I mean, we'll be able to push that back. Just need to keep a few Marines going over there. In the end, it's going to be okay. He's going to get that cleaned up. Hive on the way down from Leenock now in the main base. Marines unloading down at the south. So GuMiho getting set up once again elsewhere. Just going to be seeing those 3 pros mining away. A couple of tanks getting set to go. And again, this Colossus has popped out and started to come forwards itself. Army from Cure will start pressing forwards then. Scan on top of that army. He's going to reveal... not too much at the moment. Blink +2 attack currently on the way in. Again, this army of Cure just moving around a little bit, figuring out how it wants to do this. Stalkers and Colossus, Zealots as well, starting to come across towards the upper left-hand side. Already going to laser down a set of rocks here, so rocks under some pressure. Once he opens up this attack path to the high ground. From the high ground, it actually becomes difficult because if GuMiho's on the low ground, he'll have trouble pushing up here. Leenock will be on the high ground already, but it just creates that opportunity of where do we go. And here we go. Actually, the lasers are going to start firing. There isn't really much to deal with those Colossus at all. Right? I mean, there's nothing, actually. Maybe if the tanks could target fire, but the tanks are busy killing everything else, but those Colossus have picked up so much damage. And that's actually crazy. Push straight through here from Trap and Cure, as they're going to be able to take down a bunch. SCVs are getting destroyed as well. A ton of SCVs going down. There's again Ravagers, Hydras are going to be kept back, and those Colossus still pressing forwards, still pushing into this. As we're going to be seeing this tank is also coming in. Well, Stalkers blink in, and they will be able to take that siege tank down. Gonna see this army still in a lot of trouble. Is gonna be seeing Cure dropping on top of the high ground. A GG from Leenock, and Trap and Cure take game number 2 to tie this up. Someone from the ISP, they're just like, well, you know, you're not the owner of the account, bye. So I can't call the ISP. I'm done with this office. Like, I mean, I'm setting up to cast from home, but I am so done with this place. As awesome as it's been to cast here, when there's issues, it is absolutely so frustrating. I always seem to have issues on the worst time. The last time I had, like, there was like a power outage and the internet went off, and it was like Easter weekend or something. So like, apparently everyone was out. Like when they called up the person who can come in and reset the internet, they couldn't drive here because they'd been out drinking. I was just like, well, cool. I've just lost like $400 because I was being paid to cast something. I was like, cool. I just lost $400 because you're drunk and can't come reset the internet, and the security guard isn't briefed on how to do it. Like, great. Like, brilliant. Like, can I get my rent free for a month or something? No? Cool. Trap and Cure the top side. Bottom side is Leenock and GuMiho. Again, the best we can do is just hope it doesn't happen again as we get this underway. Sides have 1-1 at the moment. No, the ISP service is not in my name. The office supplies the internet as part of the lease. Which is actually really sick when you realize the internet we get is like better than most things you can get in the UK. It's just when there's a problem, you can't fix it yourself. There's a fucking issue. So yeah. Feels bad. Join into the stream and Wardy is complaining again. I mean, we just had the internet crash on us for the last 2 days. And then just again for about 10 minutes. So forgive me if I'm not super happy and talking. I'm just explaining the situation of what happened. Yeah. I'm just now I'm just paranoid watching my frames because I just know they're gonna start dropping again. That's the worst part. When you know that there's gonna be another issue, so you're just like, oh, sit back, wait for it to happen again. I'm just so annoyed. Sorry. Okay, 2 adepts on the way out here from Trap as he does go 2 gates before the expansion. Throws down Twilight Council here as well. Reaper gets the drone kill. Quite a nice little pick off there as the Marine comes in. Zerglin's going to be running around. The Reaper here from Cure is going to have to be a little bit cautious. Does manage to loop around. Get some good information though. Oh, those Marines going to push it in trouble, and that Reaper should be corded now. Shouldn't be able to go get out of here. Queen there for the kill. Nope, not just yet. Reaper surviving a long time. Just a frustrating sort of thing at this point, more so than anything else. Oop, the Lings backed away for a moment, but did jump on it to get the kill in the end. There's a couple of adepts though. 3 kills on them. They've had a little bit of fun. Here's that Twilight Council. Goes into a very fast Dark Shrine. A 1 base Protoss here from Trap, with Cure expanding and moving towards this gold base. Then on the other side, Leenock has got his own expansion up, and GuMiho is 1 base in it. So these guys are playing some interesting setups now. Again, Trap with the 4 gate kind of Blink DT. Not Blink DTs, but DT and Blink Stalkers. It's an intriguing little setup. As you see the Bayonets dropping down from Leenock. Feels aggressive from him as well. I kind of feel like Leenock expects this to be like a massive adept or something. Leenock scouting in with the Overlord, but well pointed out by Trap as immediately Marines come in. They'll shut down any information that Overlord can gain. From the Protoss side, there is an Overlord here as well, but it's yet to actually see anything. Obviously, it looks like they haven't expanded at all, but there is a gold base up and running for Cure. He'll now start to work down the rocks so he can mine from that base properly. These Zerglings are Leenock going to be starting to move out into the center. 1 Link takes that watchtower on the right side. These Adepts hanging out on the watchtower on the left. And again, those couple of Wolf Gates still just coming up here and getting going. Marines picking their way through these rocks. Still getting a good little bit of damage done here at the moment. 2 DTs being warped in. Haven't really seen... Okay, they're going to come in from the left side. There's any detection up right now from our Zerg and Terran. There is a couple of spores, so a spore per mineral line. Okay, and there's obviously scans too, so these DTs shouldn't get too much done, although there isn't actually much to kill a DT if it gets into the base. The Raven's obviously really nice, but still need the units there to actually kill the DTs. And that's the current issue. They're out of position, although this DT only gets 1 drone and then gets surrounded pretty fast. This DT over here will get a few more drone kills, That Queen being the only thing here to defend for a moment or two. And that is going to be the end of the DTs, though. So Trap did delay expanding for quite a while because of that. As that Nexus is just over halfway down. That Blink is about to finish up on the Twilight, so obviously gives him access towards the next little stage of this. As you see, the Raven, the tank. This Roach is actually kind of a nice army from Leenock and GuMiho. Has some potential. What does Kyo have right now? He's got a Raven of his own and a couple siege tanks. He's looking surrounding that Nexus right away. Adepts will come over to push those back, but well, the rest of the army coming in as well. Roach is now morphing into Ravagers. This is going to get dangerous. It's going to become a tough defense, I feel, as GuMiho presses in. We've seen the anti-armor missile hits on a good amount of units, though the tanks on the high ground get interfered as Matrix. Oh man, they were in such a good position as well. Stalkers are going to try and fight this tank sieging up. Blink is here, but that low ground expansion of Trap, that's going down. And Leenock and obviously GuMiho are now getting access to their gold bases. So that's going to be huge, although right now Kira is up 13 workers and has a whole gold base extra. So that could be big for him. As we see a tank here. If they just hold the high ground. Oh, nice blink for the Raven as the tanks are in siege as well. If he can just hold the high ground, then at least they can just go back towards their gold bases as a follow-up, right? So there's some potential here from Trap and Kira. We've seen the pylon taking some damage. Stalkers over this right side. We're dealing with a Banshee on the mineral line. So SCVs, a few of them dropping down. Leenock's trying to push up. This ram tank fire is good. Stalkers blink in and they pick off that tank. Ravagers taking some damage as well. The Lings keep on running forwards too. Viking's going to go after that Raven as GuMiho has no energy left on it. There's no anti-air here really. So that Raven going down. That's obviously a big pick-off, so it doesn't get any more casts off. Oh, the Lings and Ravagers kind of come forwards on their own. They do get the tank. GuMiho and Leenock, you got to remember that Leenock is only on 29 workers, so it's not a huge amount of economy from him. GuMiho is still down a couple of workers compared to Cure. And the army side across the board are pretty similar. And so Stalkers still being chrono boosted out. Trap still not had time to clean up this set of rocks here to maybe move towards that gold base. That would be big for him, obviously, if he could do that. His Trap is only on 20 probes. I was talking about Leenock not being on many workers. Obviously, 20 probes isn't much either. DT comes in, and that will buy a little bit of time for the Stalkers to blink into this, but the Stalkers taking heavy damage. It will be a cleanup, but a costly one. Here comes out with the most army supplies. That Ravager gets taken down too. Kira surviving. The Stalkers with Blink will move on the map, knowing that they have the kind of control here to kind of take position and to get something done. So Stalkers moving in, finding a Banshee right away. No cloak on these Banshees, by the way. Not sure what's up with that. Feels like maybe just forgotten about, especially considering he built multiple. Maybe just didn't think he was needing it with the initial way it was getting set up, but already starting to pay for not having it. Obviously the wall broken down the front means those Lings have pretty good access if they want to get up there and commit. Still tough for them to make that decision though. Banshee here takes a few shots, but does cloak up just in time. Scan. The Vikings will get the kill. Still nothing over here. GuMiho just scanned it to see if the other gold base was taken. He sees it isn't. So they know Trap is on one base. Kira is really a hard carry right now for Kira and Trap. So it's kind of Kira versus Leenock and GuMiho. Trap will support a little bit. He's getting a few probes. I mean, he has the money for a Nexus. He builds a Robo. Maybe he'll just go one base DT and Wardle or something like that. Just add kind of like annoyance units in and kind of units that can really play as kind of power units. As this is Kira pushing across with all the hopes and dreams of his team on his shoulders. Tell you what though, he has Stim Pack, and that's no Stim Pack here from GuMiho. So that is already kind of a big deal. Trap saw that Banshee. So your Pylon and the DT making some use of themselves. Banshee had to go and change direction there. Well, Kira starts to press forward with a tank already sieged. Said they're going to peel away. Might go for an elevator up. Ooh, kind of like it. This main base is completely unprotected. The Swords can blink up here as well to join in the fun. I'm just going to start unloading in the corner. And now, GuMiho's going to have to respond with a bit of a different position as Leenock's going to take some damage right away across the map. Banshee shows up. There's a missile turret from Kira in Trap's mineral line. I love it. As obviously Trap can't really afford anti-air of his own. Marines have to be careful there. That Medevac's going to get taken down. Oh, just gets away from the Spore Crawler, but had to leave the Marines behind there, which is costly. Stalkers trying to help this fight. Corrosive Bowels will kill one of them. SCVs and Marines are pulling in. Man, the fact that Stim is done here from Cure is a huge thing. Those tanks are doing so much damage. And Leenock and GuMiho are struggling to deal with this. The infestation bit being brought in with some infestors. I mean, that gets burrowed, but we'll just survive. The only damage he took was splash damage there. So infestors coming forward. Maybe infested Terrans on top of the siege tanks here. It's a possibility. There we go. Infested Terrans coming down. No scan available. Stalkers will fight those infested Terrans, though. And they will be good. The scan's a bit too late, so the infestors get away. And this lair of Leenock still in trouble, as Trap is still on 37 supply. This is all about Q. If the few Stalkers are Trap being microed, I mean, he has nothing else to do. But again, he just has the upgrade advantage, and that is so big here. He has 1-1 against +1, and he has Stimpack, and combat shields even. So he actually has everything that GuMiho doesn't have. And that's a huge issue as a scan, and those infestors take some damage. These tanks are deadly. 27 kills, 21 kills, 9 on the low ground. The other tank on the low ground has 19. Those tanks have been absolutely crazy good in this. As Marines stem forwards, they're going to go for the Roachron. Roaches and Ravagers coming in from Leenock to push those Marines away a little bit. Other bits and pieces going down up on the high ground. There's DT of Trap. Going to be pulling away a little bit as well. Overseer there. Able to get him able to pick that off. Roachron falls. You see a few extra Ravagers going to be finishing up here as well from Leenock. A couple of tanks of Kyo just continue to press forwards here. Marines able to stim in, pick off that Spore Crawler. Stalker still blinking around from Traveling. Is going to be trying to fight through, but I think GuMiho and Leenock are out of options. I mean, Leenock has a lot of army supply. In what, though? Like 9 Roaches and 7 Ravagers? Like, he's got 54 army. He just doesn't feel like he does. I guess there's a lot of them here, and it looks like a good army, right? But when you consider they are without roach speed or anything, they have to push into tanks. It's not going to be pretty. In this position of Q has been absolutely pristine to make the absolute most of what has been a really rough situation. Stalkers, I love it, still being used here with the blink. They're able to pick off a Ravager now and then as well. The lack of roach speed really not helping with that. Trap still adding something to this game wherever he can, any little bit, as he's still down below the supply of his opponents. But it's Kyo who is so strong and carrying through. Upgrades have even out though. Kyo has not gone into 2-2, has been too sort of set on ending the game on this attack. They are still 1 base Trap, 2 base Kyo, who is mining out fast, by the way. Kyo has to end this sooner rather than later. Stims in, gets the tank, gets a ton of SCVs. The gold bases now will be in a lot of trouble. Roaches and Ravagers on their way back in here. I mean, get the gold bases, honestly, is so worthwhile. Shut down that eco, because you really do not have the eco to continue yourself for much longer, right? And that's the biggest issue of all here, perhaps. As Arturo's dealing some damage to these medevacs. Marine's just going to stim and fight this, targeting down SCV after SCV. We'll pull away, and well, there isn't much anti-air here, so maybe could just lift up and leave. We'll just trade it out. At the same time, they're pressing forwards, and ooh, GuMiho and Leenock type out GG. Leenock with money in the bank, but he's just been losing the hatchery, so he